All right, so we're live. Avi, welcome to the Cinéaste Club, the book club for cinephiles. I'm your host Mickey P33, and today we got special guest Big Boy Dan. Oh, and he's also a
Boy, dude.
viewer. Shout out to LLDGL in the chat.
Oh, dude, look. What's up, Dan Nation?
What's up, Dan? No, I thought
It's
you
me
were the G
again.
units.
The G. It's a working title. Let's be
Okay,
real. It's
okay.
a working title. I don't think it'll ever be set.
All right, all right. Well, this is our companion show, or my companion show, to the review I posted yesterday on the YouTube channels. Go check that out at MickeyP33. We do talk spoilers here on the show, so if you haven't seen it yet, I guess go watch it and then come back and watch the VOD of this. We are also a podcast audio version on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Dan knows about Google Podcasts. He's a G boy.
What Google boy?
Oh shoot, I forgot to change the
Call me
title
out,
of the
dude.
stream too. Oh, you know what? This guy.
Insidious review spoil. Oh no, dude.
All right, so we're here reviewing Insidious again. Let's talk
Second
about it
time.
again. This will be you, but this one you have to do it from the perspective of your second time watching it.
But that's
And then we
the
got to do
first time.
and then we got to do 3 more times.
Oh no.
Gee, Mrs. Dan, sit down. You weren't first in chat. Told you weren't the first one.
Well, G-Mans, here's the thing. I'm already sitting down. All right. First and foremost. And I said first. So, I mean, I don't know. It's up to debate.
All right, we changed the title there. All right, so today we're talking about Hereditary. What up with the Hereditary? All right, let's see, how should we start this? Wait, did you watch you watched the review, right?
Yeah, I watched review.
All right,
Actually, I don't
so
remember what you scored it, though.
oh,
So,
don't
we can
worry
go
about
over that,
that.
too.
I want to see what would you score it? I think we talked about this a little bit after, like when we first watched
Yeah.
it. I think you
Yeah.
said
And
it
then
was
we were
like
talking about it for... We're talking about it for like 40 minutes, and
I
then
know.
we're
I
like,
was like, wait,
oh,
save
let's
it
save
for the
this.
show.
Yeah. 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 No, I think I would give it like a 5.5,
A
but there's an
5.
asterisk here.
Okay,
Yeah, there's an
okay.
asterisk here. And the asterisk, and we'll probably cover this, but the asterisk is after seeing more like in-depth coverage of the movies, like on like different YouTube channels or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
really like unlocked the movie for me, and that would boost it to like an 8. But like initially, my
Okay.
first reaction is like a 5.5.
Okay. So without like just initial. Okay. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Okay. Would this have been a movie you would have watched like again a second time, like on your own?
Um, Yeah, so like this kind of goes back to the asterisk. I think if I just saw it and didn't see all the YouTube like in-depth stuff, no, absolutely not. Like
Okay. Okay.
I thought this was like a couple of jump scares, haha. Next, basically,
Haha. Next, huh?
yeah, haha, next. But um, after watching all that in-depth stuff, and there's like a bunch of stuff I missed, and like it
Mm-hmm.
was a little bit hard to hear, mostly because I had one like earbud in as I was like in comms with you and watching the movie and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that I missed and all this other stuff. So I would probably watch it like maybe once, maybe 2 more times, just
Okay.
to like pick up on those little things and see if I can pick up anything else. But yeah, at first, like, no way.
So me, I mean, I I w- I guess I'm kind of with you. I feel like I would have watched it again, like if someone told, even if someone just said like, "Oh no, dude, the cult is like more like they're more active than you think in the movie," and I would be
Yeah,
like, "What?
yeah,
What are you talking about?" There's just give it a second watch it. Then I would watch it and then look for those things. But
right.
I think so I would have probably watched it again. But I think like you, yeah, especially with seeing these like in-depth like reviews and what you missed on like whoa, like I missed a lot. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I would like I almost watched it again last night with my family because I
Oh,
told them how
really?
good it was. But we
Yeah,
ended up watching the Trial of the Chicago 7, which is a
yeah.
really good movie as well. But
Yeah,
I was like, I was so close to being like, oh, we should watch this. It was either that or Sinister, but I watched the trailer for Sinister, and just by watching the trailer, I pooped my pants. So
I'm good.
I,
I'm good.
I got it. Um, yeah, yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about that later, Sinister. But yeah. So I think I'll definitely watch it now that I know like, oh, what the stuff I missed, and I want to see it again as a whole.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
but I think after I didn't really have an initial like, oh, rating when I first watched it. But definitely watching the, whatever this is what you missed, or you know peep this out type videos, that it really gave me a more of an appreciation for the movie, for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Honestly, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you want to go next, but I was gonna kind of talk about like the initial beginning of the movie where they
Oh
had that
no, no, no.
the no, dude, okay.
Well,
Yes,
I okay,
that
we
the
have to
epilogue.
okay, so we have to talk about this. Dan
Oh
and
my
I
god,
watched. So this was your first
dude.
time watching this movie, right?
Right, right.
Okay, yeah. So it was both our first time watching it, and we play a lot of games together, League of Legends. There's a lot of in gamer culture. There's this thing called RIP. I think everyone knows RIP. Rest in peace. But in the in the gaming community, it's kind of like
Like a
it's like a I don't know how to explain it, but it's just
like
so
a
funny.
satire almost.
Yeah,
Like,
because
yeah,
someone dies and you're
it's
like, "Rip," you know?
yeah, yeah.
But
It's
anyway,
like,
so
yeah,
at the
whatever.
start of this movie, they had that, I kept saying eulogy, but it's not a eulogy. It's a, like,
Um,
it's something
shoot,
that
Tess
you,
told me yesterday. I forgot what it was.
death recap in newspaper called
I keep calling it obituary. Obituary.
obituary. Yes, yes. So
Yeah,
there's an obituary of the grandma, I guess, which we find out is like the queen of this like cult.
yeah,
um uh OP2 satire. Jacob, you're so stupid. Yeah, so they had the obituary, and it just said, I think it said rip like 2 or 3 times, didn't it?
every time they said, oh, like the grandma at the beginning of the story is like dead, and then it says in parentheses rip. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god,
Oh yeah, because it
like
was talking about the
2 minutes into
grandma,
the movie, and I
her
just lost all focus.
dad, and then I think the brother or something. It was like, yeah, rip, rip. and
Yeah,
and we just uh we were just laughing, which I mean, it it kind of took us a while to get back into like a
yeah,
um
like a movie watching mode.
yeah, the mode in the movie, because I would say for the first like,
Oh my
what,
god.
15, maybe 20 minutes, like
Yeah, at
something
least
would
15
happen, like
minutes.
something, oh, I think like the daughter in the movie, played by Millie Shapiro, who's great, by the way.
Yeah.
We are like, oh, she has a nut allergy, rip. Just everything. Oh, the uh
Oh my
this creepy
god.
guy's just smiling at these people, rip. It's
Rip.
just like random.
It's like,
And so we
oh,
kept
the kid.
laughing.
Yeah, the kid is like talking to the his love interest in high school, but like does it like ignores him. Rip.
Oh yeah, rip.
Can't, can't.
Uh,
It's too
um,
good.
yeah.
Well, okay,
So,
okay. That so I wanted to touch on that for sure. Like
uh-huh.
that kind of like ruined the first 10-15 minutes. Not the movie's fault, really
Yeah, yeah.
my
That's
fault
that's
and
our fault.
our fault. But that like anyway, that was my like experience. And then the second part is um Annie, the mom, being a miniature artist
Oh,
person
mm-hmm.
or whatever, right? I didn't really get the point in that, and like it kept distracting me from what was going on inside the movie plot. So like it kind of threw me for a loop.
Mm-hmm. That yeah, I agree. When I was watching, I was like they couldn't give her like like, it just seems so weird. It's like, oh, her
Yeah.
job is like a miniature artist, or like a model artist, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
Um, but I think in the video that I sent you that we watched after,
Yeah.
explaining everything, said she, or the husband, was like her therapist or something, right?
Yeah, he's a
Or
psychiatrist, which I didn't
psychiatrist.
know from just watching the
Yeah.
movie.
So that I feel
Yeah,
like some
what
of
the
these
heck?
things they could have explained a little more because I was like,
Yeah,
oh, like he's her psychiatrist, which it like it kind of makes you think like, oh, is she like crazy? Which kind of helps with the movie because a lot of the times,
yeah,
like I thought, oh, yo, this bitch is crazy.
yeah,
Um, but like after figuring that out or learning about that, I thought, oh, maybe like that was his like thing was to help her was focus on these like miniature sets or whatever. Maybe I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But they gave no explanation. That's just me kind of theorizing. But yeah.
yeah.
um. God damn it. Kid with no shoes.
Freaking
It
rip.
says rip DG. All right. Um oh god damn it, Jacob. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, now,
Yeah.
now all I think about is rip. Rip.
um but yeah, I feel like there's a couple things that was just a little weird or not
Yep.
weird, but like it could have been done a little better. I know we've spoken about this before. You said like you don't really care for movies who was it where you have to watch an explanation video or something like that, or where you
Yeah.
have to give the movie a rewatch to figure out stuff. You like things like laid out for
Right.
you, right?
Right. Well, yeah, like I want the movie to like take me on a story, whether it's background knowledge I need to know or assumptions. Like I want them to like show it to me within the movie and not me having to read a wiki or another a different video or whatever to like actually understand all of it. And I think like one of the things that was missing and why I scored it so low, which really doesn't mean anything, but
Mhm.
why I scored it so low is that like the whole Annie being a miniature artist, the dad being a psychiatrist, I had no idea, and like the whole like 75% of the movie, I thought it was about like Annie just descend into madness,
Mhm.
and then it was actually about this like whole other gigantic plot about one of the
Mhm.
kings of hell and blah 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 that like I didn't really have a good grasp of background knowledge on to like relate to the movie from or like so I
Mhm.
think in that sense um it lacked that character development one as well as like relatability for I would say a general audience like I'm using myself as general audience but like
Mhm.
that to like really be engrossed into the movie.
Okay. I for me, I think it was I mean, it wasn't like yeah, like you I mean, I feel like you can kind of relate to the characters, sort of as far as like, oh, like if my, again, this is spoilers, so it's like, oh, if my daughter died, which her daughter dies in a crazy way, like like, like I feel like it's relatable as far as like you see the mom Annie, and you're just like, oh, she lost her mom, which she wasn't like close with,
Hmm.
and then it's like then she loses her daughter, and then she feels like, or there's like weird shit that's happening, like a haunting and stuff, and then like you see her starting to go crazy, which is I feel like that must have been what the director intended, was for us to think, to see this movie as like, oh, like it's about this lady who's like going crazy and descending into madness.
Yeah, yeah.
um but again, that's what I feel like, because I rated this movie a 9, and again, this is after knowing everything about the cult and everything, because you know, initially I thought again that, oh, this is a movie about this mom who's just going
Right.
crazy, and but then you see it after, and you're like, wait, there's like this
So much more.
this cult, yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
this cult is like doing is like they're controlling her life.
yeah, yeah,
Which, besides the mom being a miniature artist, like we don't know what that is. It there's a lot of symbolism here in the film. Um, but overall, I thought it was shot very well. the story for me, the story was great. It was very interesting and compelling. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like, first you think it's about the mom just going crazy and the relationship with her family and especially her son,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's about this demon of hell. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, that's a little twist, and that's where all the supernatural stuff comes in. And then at the end, you're like, oh wait, it's about this cult, and you're like, what the hell? Like that kind of
Yeah.
seems out of the blue. At least for me, when I first watched, I was like, what? And then we watched the explaining video, and we're like, oh shoot, like they were throughout the movie the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like the supernatural stuff and like Paimon is one of the eight kings of hell or like the demon or whatever. And the cult is based on that. Like, okay, I get that,
Hmm.
but they didn't really talk about the cult that much. Like the only thing that I can like if I put myself excluding the video that we saw on like the explainer of it,
Hmm.
um the only thing that we saw was maybe the beheadings. That's pretty like a clear
Oh,
connection throughout because like random, right, with the pigeon at first, and
yeah,
then well,
the daughter.
the
Rip.
daughter, yeah, right. No, dude, come on, hey,
Sorry,
hey,
sorry,
come
sorry.
on, and the daughter, and then the mom at the end, right? Like, okay, so
Oh
there's a
yeah.
clear connection there. But with the cult itself, like, there wasn't really anything except for that book that Annie found in the
Oh,
attic
mm-hmm.
of her mom's stuff. That was maybe like what, a 2 minute clip. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, like that's not enough to say like there's a clear connection to a cult that's harboring all this other intentions and background story behind it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
As
It was weird.
far as horror, you've seen a lot of, well, I don't know how much is a lot, but you've definitely seen more scary movies than me.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure. Um,
Well, because
but
you've only saw these two, right?
because I've only seen these two, this
Yeah,
Insidious, and I mean, Us was, they said they classified it as horror. I got pranked. It's not a horror.
yeah,
It's a good movie, but yeah, it was. Anyways, so just these two. But I thought this was very well done. I didn't think it was like scary where I need to like poop my pants, but there was a lot of good horror aspects.
yeah.
It was this this is funny because I was telling my mom and my sister yesterday when I went over to their house. Um, I guess my sister watched Insidious, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, like that scene where the was
The
it
demon.
Twinkle and no, it was the other stupid scene that I was laughing but also scared at. It was like the Twinkle in the Tulips or something. It had that song. It was the little Nazi, the one that I called the little Nazi
Oh,
boy.
yeah, little
Yeah,
Nazi
so
boy.
she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh, play that for mom, play that for mom." So we watched that clip. And I feel like this movie does very similar like that, where it's like these scares where you're like, "Oh, what is that?" But like it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like a jump scare. It's not like there's this light music that's happening, and then you're
yeah.
just like, "Oh, what the heck?" And it's not meant to like jump at you scared, but you're just so, I guess, I don't know, weirded out by it that you're
Yeah,
scared.
you're like it's it's weird and it's out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
but you
Mhm.
can't really put a finger on why you're scared of it. It's just like the
Yeah.
scare of the unknown more than like here's a fucking demon in your face.
Yeah. Yeah. So this movie does a lot of the same. I feel like where,
Yeah.
especially at the end, I feel like a lot of the horror stuff comes at the end.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's like the last like what 15, 20 minutes
yeah,
and just like
where
all like
the the
okay, well,
oh, the mom in the
rip.
corner, rip. Well, yeah,
Rip.
rip. But so when we were watching this, I have my lights on because I'm scared. I got
Yeah,
like a
obviously.
glare on the monitor, and Dan goes, "Dude, do you see that in the corner of the ceiling?" And it's funny because I was looking because I know that in these scenes,
Big
like that's
shots,
the
yeah.
typical, like, oh, that's what horror does. So I was
Yeah.
looking. I looked in the top right corner, didn't see anything. Took look top left corner of the ceiling, didn't see anything. And then you're like, "Do you see that?" I was
You
like,
looked in your ceiling and then you're like, "Oh,
I,
there it is."
I was like, "Oh, there it is." And then you're like, "Oh, do you see that?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"You're lying." And you did this to me in Insidious too. And I was like, "You're lying, bro."
yeah.
And then, but you said, and I kept saying, "Nah, dude, you're lying." You're like, "No, for real." I was like, "You're lying, dude. You're pranking me." And you're like,
Okay.
"Okay." And when you said okay, I was like, "Oh shoot, like he's real." I had to stand up to get like the right angle, and I saw the mom just like Spider-Maning in the corner of the ceiling,
She's,
and I was like,
dude,
"Holy, like what the hell?"
I
And
didn't
that
know this was
was,
Spider Verse.
dude, that's Spider Mom.
Spider Mom.
But yeah, she was up there, and I think that made it scary. And even
Yeah,
if I didn't, like, even if you didn't tell me, if I figured that out afterwards, like, if it took me, like, say, because it took me what, maybe like a minute when you were like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
look at that," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" If I
Because
noticed it like later on
I
my
think you
own,
actually noticed it like when they transitioned into the living room, and it was like
mm-hmm,
a darker or like a lighter contrast on the ceiling, and then you
mm-hmm,
could see the
and then
mom
you can
better.
see,
Yeah,
yeah, that one
yeah,
for sure I saw, but the
yeah,
other one it was like so hidden, and I
yeah,
feel like if I didn't notice that and I watched this again for a second time, or if it took me, if I noticed it later on my own and I noticed that, I would have been like, "Holy, that was there the whole time." I think that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
one of those great like scares because it's like it doesn't jump scare you. It's just like it's there and you
It's
don't
just
know
there.
or you
Yeah,
don't realize until a while later and you're just like, "What the hell?"
I think
Um,
what kind of like one of those scares, like an example for me, was Peter when he was in school after his sister's dead, and he looks in the mirror and saw himself smiling back. You know, like
oh,
that's creepy.
that was
That's
creepy, yeah.
creepy. That's scary. But the second time where he does that, the Paimon hand,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that, and then he just like slams his
Slams
head
his
on the
head.
desk. Yeah,
Oh,
like that was scary.
yeah.
That's fucking like scary.
That
You know,
was
like
yeah.
and I think that's just more like a tribute or not a tribute, but like more like a example of how good the acting was too. I really liked
Oh. Mm,
Alex Wolff. Like he was just amazing. Like Tony Collette, like she did great because like they were pretty much the two main people in
yeah.
my head.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, like it was so good, and like all these other like the acting was great. I just thought that the plot was so not
Y
underdeveloped that I just kind of gave it a low score. But after watching the in depth one, like yeah,
mhm.
like 8.5, I think is like pretty fair.
Okay.
Like even looking at all that. So like yeah, I think the weird scares yeah, there are some good ones. There's a good
Mhm.
like even like in the really beginning of the movie where that creepy guy's just smiling.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I knew he was gonna be something.
See,
Like
I forgot about that guy. I remember seeing, I was like, "This guy's fucking creepy." And then at
yeah,
the
he like
end, when he showed up naked
yeah. Oh, dude, the naked
yeah.
part. Come on, that was
l
another rip thing, dude. Like it took me out of the
That
context.
okay,
Like why?
that was a little weird for sure. Because it's like, okay, I get it, cult, but why do they have to be naked?
Yeah, it's like why am I
Um
seeing so many asses? Like I don't understand.
um, yeah, that was, yeah, I feel like a lot of the and again, this is why I think it was, like, a really good horror because it does all these different. Because in, like, horror, you have, like, gore horror
Mhm.
gory horror. Sorry, not gore horror. Gore
Oh,
horror.
yeah,
Yeah, you get the gore horror. Um, and then, there's, like, the supernatural, like, horror type stuff and, like, cult, and you get, like I feel like you get a lot of it in here. Um
yeah,
um, yeah, you get a lot of it in here where, again, in the beginning, you get like these creepy people, and it's like that's unsettling and that's quote unquote scary. These like especially the sister getting beheaded. That was so like that was gore. That was shocking.
yeah.
And it's crazy because it leaves you the director. I think I said this in the Insidious one where it's like some of these directors are really good where they know when to let the viewer use their imagination to scare themselves.
Yep,
And
yep.
that one, if you saw in the video and if you remember in the movie, the Alex Wolf Peter, he's looking up in the rearview mirror to see his sister's decapitated head, and
I
then he's like,
know,
"No,"
dude.
he's like, "I'm not gonna look at it." And it's just like, and for me, I was just trying to um, imagine it, like imagine this dog.
That's
Ugh.
yeah,
And then of course at the end you get the supernatural shit and the fucking beheading of the mom
yeah.
sawing off her own head with the piano wire, and that's
Oh, was that piano?
crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
At least that's what they said in the explanation
Oh,
video.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought it was like two like tiny children
But
knives or children scissors or whatever.
I
Like,
mean,
I don't
like that,
know.
like I feel like that's not like a big thing. Like, oh, I need to know
No.
like what she's using to cut off her head. But I did
Yeah.
notice when Peter came down the stairs, there was that piano that was knocked over. I was
Yeah.
like,
But like, okay, so I get that, but then like, I think what would have been better is like, I don't know. At first, I thought maybe like this is like that type of horror where maybe she's getting like hung by the neck and she was
oh,
trying to just get out, but then like
uh-huh.
she was obviously decapitating herself at the
Yeah.
end. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, it would have been nice to know because at first I was just like, what the hell's going on?
Hmm.
Uh,
A lot of things I don't like are plot holes. And there was
mm,
when watching the movie, one of the quote unquote plot holes that I saw was like, Peter goes up into the attic, he locks himself in there. We know that
yep,
there's the dead body and all this stuff,
yep.
and he closes the thing, and the mom is slamming her
Oh
head
yeah,
against the thing, and you're just like, oh my god, that's
yeah,
fucking creepy.
yeah.
Um,
Banger. Yeah,
dude, it's a banger. She
that's a
slapped, dude.
banger.
She slaps. Um, and then the next thing he discovers the body, all this stuff, blah blah blah, and then the next thing you know, the mom's in the attic with him, like floating in the ceiling, in the rafters, like
Yeah.
chopping her head. And I was like, okay, I get
How?
it. There's like supernatural stuff, but how did she get in? Like, she's not a ghost. And then
Yeah.
again, watching that explanation video, it was like, oh, you can see these naked people in the back
I
when he
know.
comes up into the attic for the first time, and I was like, I did not notice that, and
Yeah,
it's
and like,
like that's interesting.
yeah. So like, so explanation video like did an amazing job like bringing all those to light, but
Hmm.
I think if I were just to watch the movie, those shots were too quick for me to notice
Oh
those.
yeah,
Or maybe like I just didn't
yeah. You're
like in
focused
that
on
moment, like
other.
that high paced moment, like I'm not looking in the background. Like if it was a slower paced moment and it was like super obvious, and they panned out and then did a bigger shot of the room,
Hmm.
yeah, like that's obvious. That's like a key moment as a horror movie film watcher
Hmm.
or
Horror
or
movie film watcher.
horror.
Horror.
Yeah. Like that's like key for me to like look in the background, you know? So
Hmm.
like I don't know, like it wasn't obvious to me enough. That's what like gets me. Like it was
And
like I get it,
I
it's scary, but I don't know.
yeah, I totally, that is valid. I feel like it kind of just depends on, because I think I shared the critic rating, or sorry, the critic rating was like 89 percent, which, by the way, in the case of most of my videos, when I rate them, I'm like right there with the critic. So call me critic P33, you know.
P33, dude.
Yeah, a lot of my scores end up what the critics are, or usually do. But anyways, the audience, I think it was like at a 67%, and I've heard some people are like, "Oh, it wasn't that scary. Oh, it's blah blah blah. It's not." Because
Yeah.
I heard that this and Insidious are one of these movies that it's like, oh, it does different things in the horror genre that, um, like it just changes and uses different techniques or whatever to scare people. But, um, for sure, like I was saying, some people may not like these, they kind of may like be like you, where it's like, no, I just want to be scared. I want things to be
Right.
laid out in front of me. Um, but for me, I'm one of the other type of viewers where it's like, huh, I know there was more that I'm missing to this movie. I
Yeah.
got to give it a
Yeah.
second watch. And then during that second watch is when you're like, "Oh shoot, I didn't at the end, that smiley guy, oh, that was him."
Smiley guy.
The naked smiling guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, that one lady here was blah blah blah." And then you start, it gives you a greater appreciation the second or maybe even third time you watch it. That for me, that's what I love about movies. Um,
Mm.
so that's why for me, I scored this very high. I did like that it wasn't just flat out in your face, like, oh, jump scare here, jump scare there, blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
Again, it did horror in a bunch of different ways. Like,
Yeah.
again, like I said before. But again, the acting, I didn't speak to that yet. But yeah, Alex Wolff and Toni Collette were
So
definitely,
good.
like, they were pretty much the only two. You don't really get much of the dad. You get a little bit
Nope.
of the seance lady,
Joan?
Joan. Yeah. But other than that, you don't get much. I did say
No.
in my review that Millie Shapiro, the daughter, she
Yeah,
did a really good job. This was
she did.
her this is like her first like role in like a quote unquote big movie.
Uh-huh,
Um
uh-huh.
and for like she was creepy, you
No,
know.
I thought she did a good job. I think she needed more screen time to establish. You know how like in one of the YouTube videos they talk about like, oh, she was chosen as
um
um the
yeah.
vessel or whatever for
Mhm.
Paimon at first, right? But he's like, oh no, I prefer a male. So
Mhm.
like, oh, we gotta get Peter. Like that was, like so that initial part of Charlie being chosen, I think
Mm.
that needed to be more clear, and we would have seen how good of an actress she actually was. I think she did great. Like
Mhm.
that. Like I'm thinking specific about the scene where she like walks out of the house barefoot and
Oh
she
yeah.
sees that like
Person in the
like
woods.
yeah, person in the woods and it's like on fire or was like a seance or something.
Mhm.
Like that was so good. Like that I like there wasn't a lot of speaking parts there for sure, but like
Mhm.
the way she reacted to it and like
Yeah.
acted, I guess.
Mhm.
Like
Acted
it,
and
was- it was
reacted.
just really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it was
that's what
really
I
good.
say in my review is yeah, she with the very little line she has. Again, yeah, we didn't really get to see a lot of her dialogue and this and that, but with what she was given, she
Yeah.
did an amazing job with all these nuances. But of course, with Tony Collette and Peter, or Alex Wolf. I
Peter.
mean, he is Peter, but
Yeah,
for
yeah, no,
Peter, like just the like you said, that when he's contorting himself when he's being
oh my
possessed
gosh. Yeah,
was so scary.
that
Um,
was so good.
just him. I think the interaction with him and his mom were the best scenes, pretty much,
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
they're
agree.
both. You can see the emotion of like
Yeah,
he hates. I don't know about hates, but he really, I guess hates. He hates that his mom tried to kill him, like what when they were younger or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
And the mom hates him because I don't even know why. She just hates him. And that's I guess why she subconsciously wanted to kill him or something.
yeah.
Um, and that dynamic between them is like they're never going to be
No.
um like okay. And
Yeah.
there's a couple times in the movie where she's like, "I love you, but like you're a
Yeah, there's
fucking little
that
shit."
but and like sometimes she didn't even have to say but.
Yeah.
Like you just could tell like the tenseness that was there.
Yeah.
And like it was so apparent during that like dining room scene where they're around
Mhm.
the table. Like, oh my gosh, that was um yeah, like yikers. That's all I can say.
Yikers, that was a big
Yeah.
rip.
Yeah, that was a big rib. And the dad just like straight up just eating his dinner.
Yeah.
It's like doesn't even
Just
know
like,
what to say.
okay.
Yeah.
But Toni Collette with I mean, not only those scenes, but just her facial expressions, and I think you see
Oh
it in
yeah.
a lot of the trailers. It cuts from like I think there's 3 different scenes where her face is just like like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's just crazy. I don't know actually if she won, but I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, she should have won uh blah blah blah."
We
Anyway,
should have won blah blah blah.
blah blah
Nice.
blah. Um, but anyways, yeah. Let's go ahead and start wrapping it up here. We'll ask let's see how. Oh, we got 7 viewers. We peaked. I think we had like 5 for a while. Anyone here watching have any questions? Any of you guys seen the movie and want to say anything about it? Let us know what you thought. Oh, we lost a viewer. Okay.
All right.
um,
Sounds good.
but while they go ahead and if they want to say anything, I guess we can do like any final thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts on the film?
Yeah, I think the final thought is what? Yeah, no, this movie
Yeah.
honestly like I know like I did that just like as like a humor, but I think that like summarized it pretty well, honestly.
Uh huh.
Like I like all jokes aside, like it was pretty slow at first. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just because of the rip, but
Yeah.
it was pretty slow, and then it built up, and then it went to like like 0 to like 1,000, it's so
Yeah.
fast that
Mm-hmm.
like I was just like stunned and speechless by the end of it, right?
Yep.
And then the more you think about it after the movie ends, you're like, wait, why were they naked? Um,
Yeah.
and like these other questions come up. But overall, yeah, it was pretty good. I think like if you do watch it, definitely watch some of the explainers if you feel
Afterwards, yeah.
yeah afterwards if you feel confused or have questions. Those really unlock like a bunch of doors
Mm-hmm.
and settings to the movie that really you begin to appreciate it and you probably want to see it another time at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you guys are watching and you have seen the movie but didn't like it, if you haven't seen these explainer videos, you gotta watch them. It gives you definitely
Yeah.
a better appreciation for it. Um, I've totally forgot about that, but yeah, exactly like you said. What is, I would say, a one-word review of how I would describe this? Because, and Dan knows this. He was in cons with me. The whole time I was just like, what? What? You know,
Yeah.
I was, because you're confused because the story is very
Yep.
intricate, and I was just
Yep.
like, well, what? Huh? And then
Yeah.
these surprisingly happens, like, what?
Yeah.
What? And dude, I had one word, but it described like what, 4, 5, 6 different feelings,
Yeah.
reactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so that would be my word for for this review.
yeah. And it's just to like kind of build up on that a little bit more. Like Insidious, your phrase was "Oh hell no," because
Oh,
you knew something scary
yeah.
was gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you knew horror, like you knew this was gonna be scary and blah blah. But here, like you knew it was gonna be horror, but you didn't exactly know why.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think leads into that, like, again, I've heard this through a lot of the uh, film review, film culture, film whatevers,
Film
that
horrors.
the film horrors, yeah, that this and Insidious are like these game-changing movies within the past like decade that
Yeah.
have like elevated the genre, if you will. Um, I don't know if you would if you agree. Do you agree with that?
Um, I don't know about Insidious, to be
Mhm.
quite honest. Mostly because I don't know a lot of horror movies before that time. I
Mhm.
guess I could think of a couple, but it's slightly different. I think that's kind of what you mean by game changing. I'm not
Mhm.
exactly sure how it like changed after that, and I guess like I don't have a good frame of mind for that. But I do agree that these movies are very very different than the classic horror of, let's say, like Paranormal Activity series,
Yeah.
where it's just jump scares and loud sounds and whatever. And I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, again, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of scary movies, obviously. Um, but I just know that the ones I've seen, the clips that I've seen, in the past, are a lot of, some of them have like, a decent story.
Mhm.
Um, they're just there to scare you. I feel like Insidious, and especially more so this, they use unconventional ways to scare you, I guess. Again, we
Mm,
talked about a lot of it here, a lot in the Insidious one. Again, like with that kid, you're just like, what the hell? Like, I was scared, but I was
yeah.
just like, it's not scary, but I was scared. Because
Yeah.
there's this
It's
light,
not scary, but I
happy
was scared.
music. Yeah, it was this
Yeah,
light,
yeah.
happy music and this random Nazi kid running around. But I was like, so it's like, oh, it shouldn't be anything scary. But I was like,
Yeah.
I was, you know, oh yeah, I was scared. Um, and then again, I think, so again, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure other films in the past have like done stuff like that, but maybe not to that degree.
Yeah, maybe not to
Um,
the extent.
yeah, or maybe unintentionally. And then I know that these two at least, again, are some of the ones I've seen recently. That the story is very much more than there's a monster, there's a demon, whatever possession. There's
Mhm.
more to it, like in Insidious. Oh, this whole family thing, and this one is
Right.
so intricate, but yeah, these definitely something like we said at the top, or that I said at the top is Sinister. So I'm probably gonna watch
Mm.
Sinister for my last one. Sinister, there was a study recently that said that Sinister was the scientifically scariest uh horror movie uh, based on like heart rate or something like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
Insidious and Hereditary and Conjuring were the other three in the top four. So I feel like I gotta watch Insidious and
Wait, you
oh my
already
god,
saw
Jesus!
Insidious.
I feel like I gotta watch Sinister and The Conjuring. But
I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch Conjuring with you. You're on your own.
have you seen it?
Yeah, I just yeah, it's too much.
Too much? Like it's good or no?
Like it's too much scary, so you're on your own.
Oh shoot! Have you seen Sinister?
No, I haven't heard about it. I just wikied it actually.
All
I'm kind
right.
of reading
Well,
on it.
if you want to watch that, dude, you gotta watch the trailer. That's some of the type of stuff. Like I feel like those that maybe not be a game changer. Like oh, the plot is gonna be pretty crazy, or that one for sure is like a jump scare. I'm pretty sure, because it's
Should
like
I
this.
watch the trailer on the toilet, or what do you think?
Yeah, so that when you drop the dookie, it goes right in. Like it's
Perfect.
like that's the kind of stuff that I get scared about. Like the supernatural and the possessions. That's like okay, yeah, whatever. But like for me, stuff with like reflections or stuff
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be like 2D or whatever, and then they come out at you, that shit scares me. Like stuff with a
All right.
mirror, stuff with like what is it, The Ring or The Grudge? I always forget. I get the two mixed up. Where it's like the girl comes out of the TV. Is that Grudge?
That's the ring.
Oh, that's The Ring. Yeah. So like those type of stuff that scares me. So I think I gotta watch Sinister.
Maybe you should watch this scary movie on your own and review
Oh
it, and
no,
then see
dude.
what
You know
happens.
what? I might because I feel like if I'm gonna watch the scariest movie,
You
like
gotta do it on your own.
I feel like I need to do it on my own. Okay.
I
Well,
built you up for it. Okay,
d-
Insidious, it was scary, but it wasn't like super scary because it's kind of
mhm,
an old movie. Hereditary, it was scary, but you kind of have to like
in
read
different
about it, and then you're
ways.
actually like, yeah, it's like a delayed poop, you know.
Yeah. It's
Then
like what?
Sinister,
And then bloop.
yeah, and then Sinister is I think it's like on the spot, so you're gonna have to take
Yeah.
this one on your own.
And Sinister is definitely, I'm pretty sure, one of those scary movies where it's like it's there to just scare you, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know. You know what? I might do it. But you should watch it too, because I'm gonna want someone to talk about it with.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll
Um,
watch it. I'm gonna watch the trailer right now after this, and then see what's what.
okay, make sure you watch it on the toilet. I made the
Yeah,
mistake of not, and then my
yeah.
mom and sister were in the room, and they were like, "What's that smell?"
It was like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't
I
worry about it.
burped. Well,
I gotta go home.
no one had any questions or anything, but thanks for coming on again, DGL, the DGL,
Of course, you know, the Google boy,
the G
Dan
boy. The
Nation.
no G. I'm partial to G units, to the G
Oh, well,
units.
we'll see. Maybe every new episode I'll just come up with
Just
like a new
something
thing.
different.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning into the show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Um, Again, stay tuned for every review post every Friday. I think we're gonna do, even though next week is supposed to be my last week, we're gonna hit it with Sinister, but I think we'll do one more and we'll do The Conjuring so that we can do the scientifically top 4 scary movies. Also because I got pranked by us and that was not that scary at all. Um, but anyways, yeah. So those will be out in the next couple weeks. If you want to join the Cineaste Cinema Club, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, socials, all in the links below up top here. Thanks again, Dan, for coming on the show. You got any? If you made it this far, Big Boy Dan's here. Do you have anything? Any shout outs you want to do? Any?
Yeah. I mean, watch some more scary movies and hit Mike up with your suggestions because he always comes to me. He goes, "Hey, is this one scary? Can you watch it with me?" So I'm down. Let's do it.
That's so true. But yeah, for real, after doing, I mean, I guess technically 3 movies so far, um, I'm really beginning to appreciate
We got him,
uh
boys. We got him.
uh Wait, you watched Us in theaters, so you knew before this? Huh?
What?
No, I didn't watch Us in theaters. I don't know. Gma said something.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that I did this because I gotta clear out the bowels first of all. um,
Gotta keep with the routine.
who needs laxatives when you got scary movies?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but also again, yeah, it's just I have a new appreciation for, again, my whole thing was um, I thought that scary movies were just there to scare you, and you know, I didn't think much about the story, but yeah, these are these are uh, these are crazy, and I feel like I gotta watch all these other ones, especially these ones that I hear are more psychological, like thrillers with some horror
Mm.
aspects. So I got a lot of catching up to do on horror, and maybe I'll be a little scaredy boy. Oh, wait, scaredy
I'll be a little
a
scaredy
horror
boy.
boy, a horror boy, something like that.
Oh,
Anyways,
you could
uh,
change it up too.
well, next week, we probably, I might have a show. I work next Saturday, but definitely we'll be doing
Stream it at work.
Sinister. Just do the live show. Hey, we're here at work doing the live show. Um, but if anything, we may just postpone it because I do want to hear if you end up watching Sinister 2. I want to hear what you thought about the quote unquote scariest movie ever made.
Oh wow, that's a tall task.
That's high praise.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Dan. Good talk. I'll see
All right.
you. Well, I don't know if you're playing today.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
See you.